If you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Now back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show with your host, Joey Holly-Berg.
It's the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show. If you got a question, you're more than happy to call us on the IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard hotline. IV Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard is a naturally protects your plants against damaging sunburn, insects, and rodents. Protects newly installed plants, trees, shields, prune, damages surfaces for your roses, fruit, nut trees, ornamental trees, and shrubs. This product is non-toxic, environmentally safe, and organic. Find out more at ivorganics.com. It's also easy, simple to apply. Well, we've had a number of questions come in through social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of those locations. One is growing sweet potatoes. I know how to make the slips as well as how to root them. My problem is I get no sweet potatoes. Well, you're going to get your slips, and I'll explain the slip portion of it. You're going to take a potato, sweet potato, and hang it with 3 toothpicks and let the bottom third of it set in a mason jar of water. Over a few weeks, it will begin to root, and then it'll begin to put eyes or growth tips on that will produce the slips. This is the most cheapest way to do such. Otherwise, you can buy slips online, but it's extremely expensive. So by doing that, once the slips emerge, they get 4 or 6 inches long. Then you want to put them in a glass of water so they fully root, and then you can transplant them into a container before you get them outside if it's too early. So sweet potatoes need heat. They take 90 to 170 days to reach maturity. So based on the variety, you want to make sure that you get something that is going to work if you're in the Milwaukee area, southeast Wisconsin. Southern states don't have this problem. Plant in full sun 3 to 4 weeks after the last frost date. So we're talking here about early mid-June in some instances. You'll bury the slips up to the leaves, and you'll press the soil gently around them. And these are going to vine out. And anywhere that vine hits the ground, there's the potential of putting on another tuber underground. And you can, these sweet potatoes, based on the conditions, can get 15, 20 square feet. They want, best type of soil is well-drained soil. Fine, sandy, or loam soil usually results in the best root development. So they don't grow as great in heavy soil like clay soil. So you want to keep that in mind. Organic soil obviously is the best, and you can feed them as you need to throughout the growing season. The leaves are edible, by the way. You can use them in stir fries. Gene S. From Milwaukee says, I really enjoy your radio show. I love how your question and answer segment because you push through so many questions and give so much information. Well, we appreciate that as well. I've tried growing, another question here, I've tried every year to grow rosemary, but it always dies. What am I doing wrong when I bring it inside? Well, there's 2 problems in which you're having. One is potential root rot, and 2 is the change in amount of light. You're bringing it from outside, which is very bright, to inside, which is not as bright, and the rosemary plant has a very difficult time adjusting to it. Root rot, if you're watering it too much, that can also be the problem why you're having the plant die off.
So we have time for one last question. It's a 3-part question. This person wants to know about growing tomatoes in grow bags. What do you recommend I use for planting medium? I know that I should not use garden soil. For tomatoes, what is the minimum gallon bag size I should use? And any particular brand of bag you would recommend. So first of all, you do not want to use garden soil. It could get very compacted in the container.
As well as you're bringing diseases in, you're not using a clean mix.
Right. So you could use a pre-made potting mix. We use Kellogg garden products, of course. Or you can make your own mix, and you would do a 3-3-3, so a third of compost, peat moss, or some sort of peat type
cocoa core,
yeah. And then a third of vermiculite or perlite.
Yeah, and you can do that. Just realistically, if you're just doing a few bags, buying the pre-mixed stuff from Kellogg Garden Products is the best way to go, and that's available at your local Home Depot. Secondly, what is a minimum size grow bag that you would recommend growing in?
I would say the 10-gallon grow bag, that may seem huge, but in grow bag size, it's the right size for a tomato. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, so you do 1 per grow bag, and you're good to go. Those grow bags, they do last a long time, 10, 15 years.
Now, you could go on the cheap route and get a 5-gallon bucket and puncture holes in the bucket. You don't want to do it at the bottom like we would traditionally know, drill holes in the bottom of the bucket. You want to go up along the edge of the bucket about 1.5 inches and then drill 4 or 5 holes around the circumference of the bucket. What that does, it allows water to set down in the base of that bucket below those holes in which were drilled and actually act as a water reservoir or self-watering. So if you forget to water or whatever, there's a little extra water there that can wick up into the soil to feed your plant. So a 5-gallon bucket works. We would recommend the Root Maker grow bags. They have sizes from 1 gallon to 60 gallons, and they have a heat-tempered coating on them.
That's one thing we like about them is they have this white heat-tempered coating. You might think, well, I might not need that. I'm in a cooler climate. It does help repel a lot of the sun, especially during the hottest part of the summer, which is nice because when you're growing in containers, you do have to water them a bit more because of that heat. So you want to keep that in mind. So that white coating does assist with that.
Well, in containers, they dry out anyway quicker
Right.
because they're elevated and they're more exposed to the environment and the atmosphere and all of that which goes along with it.
And personally, I think they look nicer than a black grow bag. Black grow bags look kind of eh. The white ones look a little bit more peppy, I guess.
More professional, cleaner
look. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's squeeze another question in here real quick.
Okay, so is it too late to start pepper seeds? I want to grow habaneros, jalapenos, maybe something a little bit hotter. Is it too late now to start them in the Milwaukee area?
Technically, yes, but you could start them. We typically start our pepper seeds the second week in February. They take, you want to start them about 10 to 12 weeks before your last average frost date, which based on where you're at, here in Milwaukee, it's about April 20th to April 30th based on what chart you're looking at. So you want to keep that in mind. Peppers are a very slow-growing plant, and that's why you want to start them so early so they can get that growth establishment. And we don't put the peppers out in the ground until sometimes it's been early June, because you want that. Peppers are a tropical plant, and they're wanting that root warmth, that warm soil, like at root zone. When you dig a hole 3-4 inches deep to plant that start, you want that soil to be 60 degrees minimum, consistently, if not warmer, because they're just going to sit there in a dormancy state until that soil warms up. So, yeah, you could go ahead and start them now. Recommendations would be just, if you're a new gardener, go ahead and buy the starts from Blue Mel's or your favorite garden center, and then work with building the plants, understanding the plants, and then you can start them from seed and get more varieties next year.
Thank you for checking out the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show. For more, go to the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com for full-length in-studio video and podcast replay of Season 1. Season 2 underway and added weekly. Tweet us at TWVG Show or hashtag TWVG to be part of the program.